In the sprawling tapestry of the Forgotten Realms, some factions whisper, others roar. Some hide in shadows and manipulate events quietly, while others march openly, brandishing banners and blades. And then there are those who stride through the world with a palpable aura of dread, wrapped in blood-red robes and cloaked in ambition. They are the Red Wizards of Thay, and theirs is a story of power seized, power refined, and power abused. Before I move forward, we are counting on you to support our channel by clicking that tiny subscribe button so that we can bring more of these amazing legends and lore to life. Thank you. It is a tale of magical genius tethered to ruthless governance, of ancient traditions turned into instruments of oppression, and of a nation forged in arcane fire and bound by chains of fear. Thay is not merely a kingdom. It is a magical engine. Its heart beats with necromantic energy, its veins carry the blood of enslaved peoples, and its brain is a council of spellcasters for whom the pursuit of knowledge and supremacy overshadows all else. To outsiders, the Red Wizards are a monolithic menace, a cabal of cruel necromancers and tyrants. To insiders, they are scholars, artisans, patriots, and villains all at once. They are the inheritors of a heritage stretching back to the dawn of magic in Faerûn. They are also the architects of a society whose very survival depends on the suppression of those they deem unworthy. In this narrative, we explore the origins of Thay's Magocracy, its rise to power, its complex social structure, and its relentless pursuit of arcane supremacy. We delve into the political machinations that keep it running, the horrific experiments that sustain it, the forces that oppose it, and the strategies it uses to export its influence across the realms. As we journey through Thay's history and culture, we will discover that the Red Wizards are more than villains in red robes. They are a reflection of what happens when knowledge is wielded without restraint, when ambition is unmoored from empathy, and when the pursuit of power becomes a creed unto itself. Long before the rise of Thay, the lands east of the Sea of Fallen Stars were a patchwork of peoples, tribes, and empires. Among them were the Nar, fierce nomads who worshipped dark gods and warred with their neighbors. To their south lay the bedrock of ancient wizardry, the Empire of Mulhorand, where god-kings walked the earth and the arts of magic were respected and refined. To the west was Untha, a rival empire ruled by avatars of divinity. Between these powers, in a region of fertile plains and steep mountains, a culture of cunning and brutality gestated. This was the land that would become Thay. The story begins with the god-kings of Mulhorand. Their empire was mighty, but even gods tire. As their power waned, ambitious nobles and priests looked for opportunities to carve out their own dominions. Among them was a man named Thaid, a high priest of Thoth. Thaid was not content to serve. He wanted to rule. He secretly began to train his followers, not just in the divine arts, but in wizardry. He took the brightest students from each discipline and fused faith and magic into a new force. He preached rebellion against Mulhorand's stifling hierarchy. Thaid's followers grew in number and power. They were composed of priests hungry for freedom, wizards eager to experiment without divine oversight, and soldiers who dreamed of plunder. Thaid promised them all glory. When Mulhorand's rulers discovered his treachery, they moved to crush him. What followed was a conflict known as the Mulan Rebellion. Thaid's forces were defeated, and he himself was captured and executed. But his ideas did not die. His followers scattered, biding their time. They took his name, Thaid, and twisted it into Thay, making it a rallying cry for future uprisings. A century later, the Thayan rebellion erupted again. This time, it was led not by a priest, but by wizards. The most prominent among them was Sas-Tam, a necromancer of immense power. Sas-Tam and his fellow wizards were disillusioned with Mulhorand's reliance on divine authority. They believed that magic should be the highest authority. They gathered an army of rebels, undead soldiers, and monstrous allies. They struck at the heart of Mulhorand's eastern holdings. This rebellion was far more successful. The god kings were distracted by troubles in Untha and by internal strife. The rebels carved out a territory and declared it the independent nation of Thay. From the moment of its birth, Thay was a magocracy. Its leaders, known as Zulkirs, were wizards of unparalleled skill. Each Zulkir specialized in one of the 8 recognized schools of magic: abjuration, conjuration, divination, enchantment, evocation, illusion, necromancy, and transmutation. Together, they formed the Council of Zulkirs, which ruled Thay with an iron fist. While the Zulkirs were ostensibly equals, one among them always sought to dominate. In the early years, Sas-Tam quickly emerged as the most powerful Zulkir. He had mastered necromancy to such a degree that death held no sway over him. He performed rituals that transformed him into a lich. As a lich, he no longer aged. He could wait, he could plan, and he could outlast anyone who opposed him. Thay's establishment sent shockwaves through the region. Neighboring nations saw it as a threat. Its existence challenged the very idea that the gods had a divine right to rule. It was a state founded on secular magic, not religious authority. This made it both appealing to those who chafed under divine rule and horrifying to those who saw magic as something that should be tempered with morality. In the decades that followed, Thay launched campaigns to expand its territory. It clashed with Mulhorand, Untha, Rashemen, and Aglarond. It faced internal rebellions as slaves and peasants tried to shake off the red-robed tyrants. But through it all, the Council of Zulkirs held firm, and Thay grew stronger. To understand Thay is to understand its hierarchy. At the top sits the Council of Zulkirs. Each Zulkir is a master of their school and commands legions of apprentices, enforcers, and magical constructs. The council meets regularly in the capital city of El-Tabar to discuss policy, allocate resources, and scheme against one another. Their unity is fragile and pragmatic. They cooperate because they need each other to maintain Thay's stability, but each harbors dreams of supremacy. The Zulkirs' rivalries are fierce, and assassinations are common. Wizards in Thay do not survive long if they do not watch their backs. Below the Zulkirs are the Tharkions. Thay is divided into regions called Tharches. Each Tharch is governed by a Tharkion, who is responsible for its defense, taxation, and administration. Most Tharkions are wizards or sorcerers, though in some cases, a particularly capable warrior or cleric might be appointed. Tharkions are appointed by the Council of Zulkirs and can be replaced at their whim. As such, they are fiercely loyal to whichever Zulkir helps them maintain their position. They often engage in internecine warfare, sending assassins or curses to weaken neighboring Tharches and jockey for influence within the council. Underneath the Tharkions is a labyrinthine bureaucracy of overseers, tax collectors, slavers, and lesser mages. These individuals run day-to-day operations. They manage plantations, mines, and markets. They oversee the distribution of magical components. They also supervise the vast slave population. Slavery is the backbone of Thay's economy. Slaves farm the land, mine the ores, build the towers, and fight as cannon fodder. Free commoners are rare and occupy a precarious position. They are often small business owners, artisans, or soldiers. They are required to pledge loyalty to a Tharkion or Zulkir. In return, they receive protection and limited freedoms. if they cross their masters, they might find themselves enslaved. Among the free citizens are the lesser wizards. Not every mage can become a Zulkir, but Thay is home to thousands of spellcasters who dream of advancement. These wizards study in academies that are little more than indoctrination camps. They are taught that Thay is the pinnacle of magical civilization, and that their duty is to serve the council. Graduates either become administrators, join the military, or work in research labs. A few might rise through the ranks, but such ascension is fraught with danger. To become a Zulkir requires not only mastery of a magical school, but also the ability to outmaneuver rivals, survive assassination attempts, and curry favor with Zastam. Zastam himself occupies a special place in the hierarchy. Though he is only one of the 8 Zulkirs, his control over necromancy grants him unique power. He commands legions of undead. His spies are spirits that cannot be seen. His assassins are wraiths that strike in the night. While he does not rule Thay, openly everyone knows that he is the true power behind the council. He has, at various times, attempted to seize sole control, and each time he has been opposed by coalitions of other Zulkirs. Each attempt ends with him retreating to his stronghold to plot anew. His presence casts a shadow over every political maneuver. When he is silent, Thay holds its breath. When he acts, the earth trembles. Outside the rigid hierarchy of Thay, there is another tier, the Enclaves. These are embassies and outposts run by the Red Wizards in foreign lands. Enclaves are a recent invention, a strategy for expanding Thay's reach without direct conquest. In cities such as Waterdeep, Hillsfar, and even as far as Kalimport, Red Wizard Enclaves operate as magical businesses. They sell potions, enchantments, and magical services. They undercut local mages, monopolize trade in exotic spell components, and amass wealth. Each enclave is overseen by a senior Red Wizard who acts with a degree of independence. They funnel resources back to Thay and serve as spies and propaganda agents. The enclaves are controversial. Many cities have banned them, fearing their influence. Others welcome them for the magical benefits they provide, unaware or unwilling to acknowledge the strings attached. The structure of power in Thay is thus layered and interconnected. The Zulkirs stand atop the pyramid, the Tharchions guard the middle, the bureaucrats and lesser mages hold the foundation, and the slaves support it all. Everyone answers to someone above, and everyone is exploited by someone above. In such a system, trust is rare, fear is constant, and loyalty is a commodity. The only thing that holds the system together is the shared belief that Thay must be strong to survive in a hostile world. It is a nation fortified by paranoia. In Thay, magic is more than a tool. It is the very language of authority. Those who can cast spells wield power. Those who cannot are either servants or property. The Red Wizards understand that the arcane arts grant them the ability to reshape reality. They use this power to control the land, the people, and even death itself. Every aspect of Thayan life is infused with magic. From the weather patterns over the fields to the enchantments that bind slaves, nothing is beyond the reach of a wizard's influence. Agriculture, for instance, is not left to chance. Thayan wizards conjure elemental beings to plow fields. They cast spells to accelerate growth, ensuring bountiful harvests even in poor soil. They summon rain clouds during droughts and hold back storms during harvest. These magical interventions make Thay's economy robust, but they also keep the population dependent on the wizards. If a Tharchion withdraws magical aid, crops fail and famine ensues. Thus, the people know that their survival is in the hands of their masters. In war, magic turns Thayan soldiers into terrors. wizards accompany armies, casting spells that bolster allies and devastate foes. They conjure walls of fire, clouds of poison, and storms of ice. They summon monsters to fight at their side. They animate the dead to swell their ranks. Thayan battle tactics rely heavily on magic. Infantry and cavalry exist, but they serve as protectors for the wizards. The sight of a red wizard on the battlefield, swirling staff in hand, wearing his crimson robes and gold-trimmed headband, is enough to send enemy soldiers fleeing. Thay has won wars through intimidation as much as through actual conflict. Magic is also used as a means of punishment. Criminals are not merely imprisoned, they are cursed. Thieves might find their hands turned to stone. Traitors might be polymorphed into beasts and paraded through the streets. Wizards suspected of disloyalty might have their spellcasting abilities stripped or their minds altered. Public executions are often accompanied by spectacular spells. A burning hand spell can incinerate a prisoner in moments. A finger of death can snuff out life with a gesture. These displays serve as warnings to anyone who would defy the Zulkirs. Perhaps the most horrific example of magic as control is Thay's use of necromancy. Zastam's school of magic pervades the entire nation. Every Thark maintains ossuaries where the bones of the dead are stored. These bones are animated to serve as laborers, soldiers, or building materials. Skeletons pull carts, zombies build roads, wights guard borders, ghosts spy on the living. The Red Wizards justify this as efficiency. Why let corpses rot when they can be put to use? The truth is darker. The constant presence of the undead instills a sense of doom among the populace. It reminds everyone that even death does not free them from service. Slaves know that if they die in defiance, their bodies will still be made to work for their masters. Magic also plays a role in Thay's economy. The Red Wizards are master enchanters. They produce magical items in bulk, which they sell through their enclaves. They enchant weapons, armor, and tools. They brew potions that can heal wounds, grant invisibility, or enhance strength. They inscribe scrolls that can cast spells. They create teleportation circles that allow for rapid travel between cities. This industry brings in wealth, which funds Thay's armies and bribes foreign officials. It also creates dependence. Cities that rely on Thayan magic become reluctant to offend the Red Wizards, fearing that their supply of potions or enchanted goods will dry up. One might think that such mastery of magic would lead to arrogance and complacency. In Thay, it leads to paranoia. Wizards are constantly aware that others might be plotting against them. They cast spells to ward their homes, to watch their rivals, and to erase their tracks. They experiment with new magic, not just to advance knowledge, but to gain an edge in the political games they play. They are always one spell away from death or dominance. This atmosphere fosters creativity, but stifles trust. It produces brilliant innovations and monstrous abuses. Magic is both the lifeblood of Thay and its poison. Beneath the Zulkirs and their enforcers, beneath the Tharkions and their soldiers, beneath the lesser wizards and their apprentices, lie the masses. Thay's population is vast and varied. It includes Mulani, Rashemi, Nar, and countless other ethnicities. It includes humans, elves, dwarves, half-elves, half-orcs, and tieflings. It includes free citizens who eke out livings as farmers, merchants, and artisans. It includes slaves who toil in fields and mines. It includes conscripts forced into the army. And it includes those who live on the fringes, such as nomadic tribes and rebels. Slavery is the institution that shapes Thayan society. Slaves are captured in raids, bought in foreign markets, or born into bondage. They are the property of the state and they can be sold or traded at will. Slave markets operate in every major city. They sell laborers, household servants, and pleasure slaves. They even sell trained mages, though such sales are rare and expensive. Slaves have no rights. They can be punished or killed without legal consequence. Their owners mark them with tattoos or magical brands. Their children are born as slaves. Freedom is almost impossible to attain. The Red Wizards justify slavery by claiming that the weak must serve the strong, that order must be maintained, and that Thay's greatness depends on the labor of those who cannot wield magic. Free commoners fare better, but are not truly free. They pay heavy taxes, they are subject to conscription, they must obey curfews and permit inspections. They are required to attend public rituals where they pledge loyalty to their masters. They live under the constant threat of being accused of sedition or treason. They are the buffer between the elite and the slaves. They hope, perhaps naively, that by obeying the law and paying their dues, they will avoid the worst excesses of the regime. Some free commoners have found ways to profit. They become overseers, managing slave labor. They work as scribes for the bureaucracy. They open taverns that serve the soldiers and wizards. They sell their crafts to the enclaves. Such individuals can achieve modest prosperity, but must always be wary of jealousy and accusation. There are also free wizards who are not part of the Zulkirate. These individuals are often foreigners or outcasts. They might have fled their homelands, seeking refuge or new opportunities. They welcome skilled wizards because it can use them. These wizards are required to swear loyalty to the Council of Zulkirs, but they are given a degree of autonomy. They are allowed to open businesses, conduct research, and teach students. Many quickly learn that their autonomy is an illusion. They are expected to provide magical services when called upon. They are spied on. They are manipulated into rivalries. They are offered power and position, but at the cost of their independence. Beneath the formal divisions, there exist subcultures and secret societies. One such group is the Order of the Symbol's Mask. This secret organization seeks to protect slaves and undermine the Red Wizards. It is rumored to be backed by foreign powers such as Aglarond and Rashaman. Members of the Order help slaves escape, sabotage magical experiments, and leak information to Thay's enemies. They operate in cells to avoid detection. Another secret society is the Guild of Alchemical Freedmen, composed of former slaves who have used alchemy to alter their bodies, making themselves unrecognizable. They run underground safe houses and train fugitives in self-defense and survival. Not all subcultures are resistant. Some embrace Thay's brutality. The cult of eternal thrall is a religious movement that venerates Tam as a living god. Its members willingly offer themselves as sacrifices for necromantic experiments. They believe that by serving Tam in life and in death, they will attain eternal existence as undead. They wear black robes adorned with silver skulls and shave their heads. They march in processions, chanting prayers. They recruit among the poor, the desperate, and those who have lost loved ones to disease or war. The coexistence of these various classes and groups creates tension. Slave revolts are not uncommon. Bands of escaped slaves roam the wilderness, attacking caravans and plantations. Thayan soldiers respond with brutality. Free commoners sometimes participate in these revolts, but more often they watch nervously, fearing that any association will mark them as traitors. Rebellions are particularly frequent in the border regions near Rashaman and Aglarond. These areas are home to Rashemi and Aglarondi populations who resist Thayan rule. They hold festivals that celebrate their heritage. They train secret militias. They smuggle weapons and supplies. The border wars that break out periodically are as much uprisings as invasions. Within the cities, life is a mix of drudgery and spectacle. Public squares feature executions, military parades, and arcane displays. Marketplaces sell goods from all over Faerûn, as Thay's enclaves import exotic wares. Temples dot the cityscapes. While Thay is secular in its government, religion is not banned. People worship gods like Kosuth, deity of fire, Bane, deity of tyranny, and Maestra, deity of magic. Temples serve as both spiritual centers and tools for social control. Priests align themselves with the Zulkirs, and in return they are allowed to minister to the populace. Festivals dedicated to the gods are often co-opted by the government, turning them into patriotic celebrations. In rural areas, peasants and slaves work under the watchful eyes of overseers. They live in huts or barracks. Their communities are often homogeneous, reflecting the ethnic groups from which the slaves were taken. They maintain their languages and traditions in secret. They tell stories of their homelands and sing songs of freedom. At night, they might gather around fires to perform rituals that predate Thay. Some are caught and punished for practicing forbidden magic or worshipping banned deities. Others find solace in these traditions, maintaining a sense of identity in the face of oppression. While Thay's internal operations are fascinating and horrifying, its external strategies are equally intriguing. Conquest is one facet, but the Red Wizards have refined other methods for expanding their influence. Chief among these methods is the establishment of enclaves. These enclaves are official Thayan outposts located in foreign cities. They operate under the guise of businesses that sell magical goods and services. In truth, they are tentacles of Thay's political and economic reach. The first enclaves appeared in the wake of several failed military campaigns. Thay's attempts to conquer Rashomon and Aglarond were thwarted by fierce resistance and clever tactics. The Zulkirs realized that brute force had its limits. They needed a way to infiltrate societies without provoking immediate retaliation. The enclave system was their answer. They sent emissaries to negotiate with city leaders, offering trade deals and magical support. They promised to pay taxes, protect local trade routes, and provide access to spells that only Thay could cast. In exchange, they asked for permission to open shops and workshops. Many cities found it hard to refuse. Magic is a valuable commodity. Healing potions can save lives. Protective charms can guard against curses. Enchantments can improve crops or crafts. The Red Wizards undercut local mages by offering these services at lower prices, made possible by the slave labor back in Thay. Soon, Thayan potions and scrolls were ubiquitous. This economic dependence gave Thay leverage. If a city angered them, the Red Wizards could withhold supplies or flood the market with cursed items. They could threaten to withdraw their enclaves, leaving the city without magical support. Enclaves serve another purpose: espionage. Each enclave is staffed by Red Wizards and loyal agents who gather information. They spy on local rulers, track the movements of adventurers, and identify magical artifacts worth acquiring. They sometimes recruit local mages to spy on their own people. They might offer a minor wizard the opportunity to study advanced spells in Thay if he delivers reports on his city's defenses. They might pay a noble to leak information about rival families. Over time, enclaves accumulate extensive intelligence networks. This information is sent back to Thay, where it is analyzed and used to plan future actions. Enclaves also act as safe houses and logistical hubs. When Thay sends a team of adventurers or assassins abroad, the enclave provides them with resources. It offers rooms for rest, teleportation circles for rapid travel, and vaults for storing loot. If a Thayan agent is pursued by local authorities, the Enclave can hide them under the protection of diplomatic immunity or whisk them away to Thay. This diplomatic status is often contested, leading to tense standoffs. Local guards might surround an enclave, demanding the surrender of a fugitive. The Red Wizards might respond by summoning monsters or threatening curses. In many cases, a compromise is reached, with the fugitive being exiled instead of handed over. The success of the Enclave system has varied. In some cities, such as Hillsfar, the Enclaves have been driven out after evidence emerged that they were kidnapping citizens and performing experiments. In others, like Baldur's Gate, the Enclaves have become entrenched, with local merchants and nobles profiting from the trade. In Waterdeep, the Enclave is heavily regulated. The Lords of Waterdeep watch every transaction, fearing that the Red Wizards might spread their influence too far. In Kalimport, the Enclaves are tolerated because they pay hefty bribes to the Pashas. Beyond Enclaves, Thay expands its influence through mercenaries and secret alliances. The Red Wizards hire bands of adventurers to retrieve relics, assassinate rivals, or sabotage supply lines. They disguise these missions as normal mercenary contracts. Few adventurers know that the potions they receive were brewed by slave hands. The Red Wizards also form temporary alliances with other factions. They might ally with the Cult of the Dragon to capture a dragon's horde. They might strike a pact with the Gentarim to establish a trade route. Such alliances always come with hidden clauses and inevitable betrayals. They does not share power willingly. Perhaps the most ambitious of Thay's external endeavors is Zastam's plan to create a realm of undeath. At one point, Zastam attempted to construct the Dread Ring, a massive necromantic device that would turn the region surrounding Thay into a dead zone, feeding necromantic energy directly to him. He planned to use this power to challenge the gods themselves. The Dread Ring would have consumed countless souls. It was ultimately thwarted by a coalition of heroes, assisted by rival Zulkirs who feared Zastam's dominance. This event exposed the extent of his ambition and forced the Council to re-evaluate his role. Thay does not exist in isolation. It is surrounded by nations and factions that either oppose or collaborate with it. Understanding Thay's place in the geopolitical landscape is crucial to understanding its strategies and vulnerabilities. To the west lies Aglarond, a land of forests and coastal cities, protected by powerful mages and druids. Its ruler, the Symbol, is a sorceress of unimaginable power. She and the Red Wizards share a long history of conflict. Aglarond has repelled multiple Thayan invasions. The Symbol herself has personally led raids into Thay, destroying supply lines and freeing slaves. The Red Wizards fear her and respect her in equal measure. They know that any attempt to conquer Aglarond would likely fail unless she is neutralized. This has not stopped them from plotting her downfall. They have tried to assassinate her, curse her, and incite rebellion within her realm. All attempts have failed, but the tension remains. To the north is Rashomon, a rugged land of berserker warriors and masked witches. The witches of Rashomon are skilled spellcasters who serve as protectors of the land. Their magic is rooted in nature and spirits, contrasting with Thay's arcane manipulation. The Red Wizards have long coveted Rashomon's resources and strategic position, but every invasion has been met with fierce resistance. Rashemi berserkers fight with ferocity unmatched in Faerûn. The witches call upon ancient spirits to unleash storms, blizzards, and earthquakes. Rashomon's warriors and witches have formed secret alliances with Thayan rebels. They provide sanctuary for escaped slaves and support the Order of the Symbol's Mask. Rashomon is thus both a buffer against Thay and a thorn in its side. To the south lie Mulhorand and Unta, the old empires that birthed Thay. Their histories are intertwined. In recent times, Mulhorand has undergone significant changes, with the return of its gods and the collapse of its divine empire. The Red Wizards watch Mulhorand warily. On one hand, they fear the revival of a powerful theocratic state on their border. On the other, they see an opportunity to exploit chaos. They send diplomats disguised as merchants to Mulhorand's cities. They sell magic to nobles eager to reclaim their status. They attempt to infiltrate the temples of the revived gods. Mulhorand reciprocates by sending paladins and clerics into Thay's territories, attempting to convert or liberate the enslaved populations. Beyond these neighboring nations, Thay has dealings with other powerful groups. The Harpers, a semi-secret organization dedicated to preserving freedom and fighting tyranny, are an enemy. They sabotage enclaves, free slaves, and spread propaganda against the Red Wizards. Harper agents often pose as customers in Thayan shops, seeking information. They bribe or threaten suppliers to expose the secrets of Thay's magical items. The Red Wizards respond with assassinations and curses. The Gentarim, a network of mercenaries and merchants with few scruples, are both allies and rivals. Thay's enclaves sometimes collaborate with the Gentarim to open trade routes. They might hire Gentarim thugs to protect shipments or intimidate customers. At other times, they clash over market share and territory. The Red Wizards trust the Gentarim no more than they trust their own, but they find them useful. Another significant adversary is the Church of Torm, which sees Thay as an abomination. Torm's paladins lead crusades against the Red Wizards. They rescue slaves, destroy necromantic laboratories, and cleanse undead-infested lands. In one notable campaign, a Tormite knight infiltrated a Thayan enclave and sabotaged its teleportation circle, stranding a contingent of Red Wizards. The enclave was subsequently stormed by local authorities. The church suffers losses in these endeavors, but its zeal is undiminished. Zastam has placed bounties on Tormite paladins, promising riches to anyone who delivers their heads. Then there are the Shades of Netheril, a group of arcanists from a resurrected magical empire. The Shades operate flying cities and command magic that rivals Thay's. They are both competitors and compatriots in the field of high magic. Sometimes they ally with Thay to achieve mutual goals, such as capturing a magical artifact. More often, they engage in magical espionage, trying to steal each other's secrets. The Shades view Thay as provincial and brutal. The Red Wizards view the Shades as arrogant and decadent. Their rivalry has led to magical duels that have shaken the fabric of reality. Among Thay's unexpected allies are certain monstrous races. Zastam has made pacts with leeches, death knights, and vampires. These undead creatures lend their power in exchange for safe havens and the promise of new thralls. Orc tribes have been bribed to raid Rashemi villages. Goblin tribes have been armed to distract Aglarond. Even some dragons have been persuaded to guard Thayan vaults or terrorize rival nations, usually in exchange for magical treasures or the right to loot. Finally, within Thay itself, enemies and allies are indistinguishable. Every Zulkir is an ally until they become a rival. Every Tharkion is a friend until they see an opportunity. Zastam might save a fellow Zulkir from assassination if he believes it will buy their loyalty. He might later betray them if their loyalty wavers. The same is true for the other Zulkirs. Alliances are fluid. Trust is non-existent. Betrayals are frequent. It is this constant maneuvering that has kept Thay from collapsing under the weight of its own tyranny. It is also what has kept it from conquering the world. What motivates a Red Wizard? The question might seem simple: power. But there is nuance. Red Wizards are not cartoon villains who revel in chaos for its own sake. They are scholars, patriots, zealots, and survivors. They grew up in a society that teaches that magic is the ultimate measure of worth. They are told from a young age that to master magic is to become godlike, that the gods themselves are jealous of mortal mages, and that the only thing that matters is the preservation and expansion of Thay. To be accepted into a magical academy in Thay, a child must show talent and willingness to embrace the harsh discipline required. Parents will sell other children into slavery to fund one child's education if that child shows magical promise. They see it as an investment. The child attends the academy, where they learn that compassion is weakness, that competition is natural, and that they must surpass their peers or be surpassed. They watch their teachers casting spells to punish failure. They see older students disappear after expressing doubts. They might be tasked with performing cruel acts to prove their loyalty. They are conditioned to equate success with ruthlessness. As they ascend, they begin to view magic as a means of survival. In Thay, a wizard's status is determined by their achievements. If they create a new spell, they earn prestige. If they discover a lost artifact, they gain favor. If they assassinate a rival, they remove a threat. They might not delight in cruelty, but they see it as necessary. They might believe that their experiments will improve Thay's standing. They might genuinely think that necromancy can be used responsibly. Many Red Wizards see themselves as patriots. They believe that Thay's harshness is justified by the dangers it faces from enemies. They argue that slavery keeps the economy strong, that necromancy keeps enemies at bay, and that only by maintaining a rigid hierarchy can Thay survive. There are also those who join the Red Wizards out of fear. They recognize that in Thay, one is either a master or a slave. They choose mastery. They hope that by mastering magic, they can avoid being oppressed. They tell themselves that if they become powerful, they can reform Thay from within or protect their families. Some succeed. Some become disillusioned. Some become monsters. The path of a Red Wizard is one of choices, each one narrowing the possibilities. It is easy to justify one's actions in the face of a brutal system. It is harder to live with the consequences. The psychological toll of being a Red Wizard is considerable. Paranoia is omnipresent. Any ally might be a traitor. Any student might poison their master. Wizards rarely sleep without magical wards. They do not travel alone. They test their food for poison. They cast spells to detect scrying. They trust no one. This breeds a specific kind of loneliness. Some Red Wizards form alliances based on mutual respect. They might genuinely admire a colleague's work or see themselves in a protege. But such relationships are always conditional. Betrayal is expected. Trust must be earned daily and can be broken in a moment. Despite the paranoia and cruelty, there are surprising depths to some Red Wizards. A necromancer might justify their work by claiming they are exploring the nature of the soul. A conjurer might see summoning demons as a way to protect Thay, believing that harnessing infernal power is preferable to being attacked by demons. An illusionist might think that their manipulation of perceptions is less harmful than outright violence. These wizards view themselves as rational actors. They see others' fear as ignorance. They may even be troubled by the enslavement of the masses, but feel powerless to change it. Their letters to colleagues might discuss philosophy, ethics, and the nature of magic. Their diaries might reveal doubt, but the pressure of Thayan society is relentless. It molds even the well-intentioned into agents of tyranny. To fully understand the Red Wizards, it helps to hear the stories whispered in taverns, told around campfires, and recorded in hidden journals. These stories reveal the human and inhuman experiences that make up Thay's legacy. One such tale is that of Lahayo, a young wizard from Rashemen who was captured during a border raid and brought to Thay as a slave. He was forced to serve a cruel master who experimented on Rashemi captives, trying to unlock their berserker abilities through magic. L'Haio endured torture and humiliation, but he was clever. He pretended to be broken, biding his time. He memorized spells cast in his master's presence. He noticed patterns in the magical wards. One night, he sabotaged his master's spell, causing it to backfire. The explosion destroyed part of the laboratory. L'Haio escaped in the chaos, freeing other captives as he fled. He made his way through the swamps, pursued by undead. He crossed the border into Rashomon, where the witches helped him heal. L'Haio became a hero among his people. His story is told to Rashemi children as proof that Thay's cruelty can be outwitted. There is the story of Veldrin, a red wizard who specialized in illusion. Veldrin was a rising star in the Zulkirate. He created spells that could hide armies, confuse scrying, and make the dead appear alive. He was praised for his creativity. He also had a secret. He was the son of a slave. His mother had been taken from Mulhorand. When Veldrin discovered this, he felt shame and anger. He dedicated himself to Thay, hoping to bury his origins in achievements. When he finally attained a position of power, he used his influence to free his mother. This act was discovered by a rival. Veldrin's rival reported him to Zas Tam. In a rare act of mercy, Zas Tam allowed Veldrin's mother to leave Thay on the condition that Veldrin remain loyal. Veldrin agreed. He continues to serve, creating ever more elaborate deceptions. He writes letters to his mother in secret, promising that one day he will dismantle the system that enslaved her. Whether he will succeed or be consumed by the very system he serves remains to be seen. A darker tale is that of the Black Spire. This tower, located in the Sahu, is infamous. It is where the Zulkir of Conjuration conducts experiments on extraplanar beings. It is said that the walls of the Black Spire are covered with sigils that bind fiends. The screams of demons echo from its heights. The conjurer who runs the tower, Zulkir Nevron, prides himself on his ability to control creatures from the abyss and the nine hells. But there is a price. Fiends are crafty. They whisper promises and secrets. They tempt the conjurers who summon them. There have been cases where conjurers have been corrupted, releasing fiends into Thay. These fiends have wreaked havoc, forcing Nevron to send his apprentices to recapture or destroy them. The Black Spire is a cautionary tale. Even in Thay, where magic is supreme, there are forces that cannot be fully controlled. Then there is the legend of the 7 lost books. These ancient tomes were written by a Thayan wizard who claimed to have discovered the secrets of immortality without undeath. The books were hidden across Faerûn to prevent Zas Tam from finding them. Over centuries, treasure hunters, adventurers, and red wizards have sought these books. Some have found fragments, others have found nothing but traps. It is said that if someone ever reunites the 7 lost books, they will gain the power to become immortal without becoming undead. Zas Tam desperately wants these books. He fears that someone else might find them first and challenge his control over undeath. The search for the books has become an obsession for some red wizards, leading them to explore tombs, infiltrate libraries, and betray allies. Finally, there is the story of a slave named Asha. She was taken from Aglarond as a child. She grew up in the kitchens of a Zulkir's palace. She learned to cook meals infused with herbs that enhance magic. She developed a secret passion for alchemy. She began to steal scraps of spell components and experiment in the backrooms. She discovered how to brew a potion that masked magical aura, making it possible to hide enchanted items from detection. She shared this discovery with a fellow slave who was planning an escape. The potion allowed the slave to smuggle out a magical scroll. The scroll contained evidence of the Zulkirs' plan to use Demon Lord's blood in a ritual. The evidence reached the Council of Zulkirs, and the Zulkir was forced to abandon the ritual. Asha's act saved countless lives. She remained a slave, but gained a reputation as a secret ally to the rebellion. Her name is whispered by slaves who hope for freedom, proof that even those in chains can wield power. As the years pass and the tides of magic shift, one must wonder what the future holds for the Red Wizards of Thay. Can a nation built on tyranny, slavery, and constant power struggles endure? Will the Zulkirs tear each other apart? Will Zastam finally achieve his dream of total control? Or will Thay collapse under the weight of its own cruelty? One scenario is that Zastam succeeds in forging his realm of undeath. With infinite patience and growing necromantic power, he might one day complete a dread ring or similar device. If he succeeds, Thay could become a blighted wasteland under his absolute control, an impregnable fortress of undead that even gods fear to assault. It would cease to be a nation in the traditional sense and become a necropolis where the living are cattle. Such a transformation would be catastrophic for the region. It would likely unite all of Thay's enemies against it. Armies from across Faerûn might march to destroy the Dread Ring. Gods might intervene directly. If they fail, Thay could spread its undeath like a plague, conquering neighboring lands by simply waiting for their populations to die and then raising them as undead. Another possibility is that the Council of Zulkirs fractures. Already, the Zulkirs distrust each other. If Zastam pushes too hard, or if another Zulkir amasses enough power, civil war could erupt. This war would not be fought like normal wars. It would be fought with curses, summoned monsters, and enchantments that twist reality. Cities would become battlegrounds where the laws of physics break. Thousands would die. The Tharches might declare independence. Neighboring nations might seize territory. In the end, Thay might be reduced to a patchwork of mage lords ruling isolated strongholds. This fragmentation would reduce its threat, but increase regional instability. It might also create opportunities for reform. A charismatic leader could emerge, promising to end slavery and rebuild Thay as a more just society. Whether such a leader could survive long in the cauldron of Thayan politics is uncertain. A third path involves gradual change. Not all Red Wizards are monsters. Some have begun to question the old ways. Younger wizards, exposed to foreign ideas through the Enclaves, might see the benefits of cooperation over domination. They might push for reforms, such as ending slavery or sharing power with non-mages. These reforms would face fierce opposition from traditionalists like Zastam. They would require external support. If the Enclaves continue to integrate Thay with the wider world, such change becomes more plausible. They might slowly evolve into a nation where magic is still revered, but not used to oppress. It might become a center of learning rather than a threat. This future is hopeful, but precarious. Finally, there is the possibility that Thay is destroyed by external forces. A united coalition of Aglarond, Rashemen, Mulhorand, and other nations could assemble to invade. The Jade Harpers could organize an insurrection. A new magical catastrophe, like a return of Netherese magic or a wild magic wave, could sweep across the land, undoing the Red Wizards' wards. A plague could decimate the population. A dragon might lay waste to El Taba. In any of these scenarios, Thay's power would be broken. The survivors might scatter. Some would become refugees. Others would try to rebuild Thay elsewhere. The remnants of the Council might hide in other nations, plotting a return. The future also depends on larger forces in the multiverse. The weave of magic is not static. Gods rise and fall. Planes shift. If a deity of magic becomes hostile to the Red Wizards, their spells could fail. If the 9 hells decide that Thar's pact with demons is a threat, devils could intervene. If a cosmic event like the spell plague were to occur again, Thay's reliance on magic could become its weakness. The Red Wizards are aware of these possibilities. They study prophecy, they consult oracles, they prepare contingencies. Yet no plan can anticipate every outcome. The future remains a tapestry of potential threads. The Red Wizards of Thay are a testament to both the heights and depths of mortal ambition. They have forged a nation that commands respect and fear. They have achieved magical feats that dazzle and horrify. They have built an economy that thrives on exploitation. They have created a culture that venerates knowledge but punishes compassion. They are villains to many, heroes to a few, and complex individuals to themselves. To understand the Red Wizards is to confront questions about power and morality. Is it acceptable to sacrifice the few for the good of the many? Does the pursuit of knowledge justify any means? Can a society built on oppression truly thrive? Can individuals within such a society retain their humanity? The answers are not simple. The Red Wizards are both cautionary tales and fascinating characters. They remind us that magic, like any tool, reflects the intentions of those who wield it. In the hands of the compassionate, it can heal and protect. In the hands of the ruthless, it can enslave and destroy. As we leave the lands of Thay and its crimson-robed masters, we carry with us the image of a people who chose magic over mercy. Whether their story ends in triumph, tragedy, or transformation remains to be written. For now, the red thread of Thay's fate continues to weave itself through the fabric of the Forgotten Realms, a constant reminder that power, once obtained, is rarely relinquished willingly. The Council of Zulkirs is a mysterious body to those outside Thay. To the people of Thay, the Zulkirs are demigods. They represent the pinnacle of magical achievement. They are feared, revered, and, in some cases, despised. Each Zulkir is more than a simple master of a school. They are the embodiment of that school's philosophy. Understanding them is to understand the diversity within the Red Wizards, the ambitions that drive them, and the factions they represent. The most infamous of the Zulkirs is Zas Tam, the Zulkir of necromancy. His name is synonymous with undeath. He was born a mortal man, but transformed himself into a lich centuries ago, ensuring his longevity. His mastery of necromancy is unparalleled. He raised entire armies of dead to fight for Thay. He created the most horrific of undead creatures, such as bone claws and grave giants. Beyond his mastery of death, Zas Tam is a strategist. He understands that fear is a powerful tool. He projects an image of inevitability. Death comes for all, and in Thay, death serves Zas Tam. He rules the Thart of Tazalha, which is filled with haunted swamps and necropolis cities. Those who travel through Thazalha see skeletons tending fields and wraiths patrolling roads. Zas Tam rarely appears in person. Instead, he uses simulacra, undead servants, and spells to interact. Those few who have met him describe him as chillingly polite, with a voice like dry parchment. Opposite Tam in philosophy is Leozoril, the Zulkir of enchantment. Lauzuril hails from a minor noble family. He is charming, gregarious, and deeply manipulative. He believes that control does not need to be overt. Enchantment is the art of bending minds, making people love their chains. Lauzuril's Thark, Eltabar, is a place of festivals and glamour. Bards perform in plazas. Silk banners wave from towers. The beauty masks the underlying control. Lauzuril employs spies who use charm spells to coerce information. He is known to invite foreign dignitaries to lavish parties, only to cast subtle enchantments that make them more amenable to his demands. Lauzuril sometimes poses as a humble merchant in his own markets, listening to rumors. His opponents underestimate him at their peril. The Zulkir of Evocation is Dimitra Flass, a woman renowned for her fiery temper and her mastery of destructive spells. Dimitra commands legions of battle mages. She personifies the belief that power must be displayed. When Thay is challenged, she is often the first to call for decisive and overwhelming force. Dimitra is responsible for Thay's reputation as a nation of wizards who hurl fireballs first and ask questions later. She has leveled forts, burned forests, and annihilated armies. Her Thark, Lependra, is a training ground for evokers. It is said that the night sky above Lependra is never dark because there is always a spell being tested. Dimitra is a blunt instrument. She respects only strength. However, she understands the need to maintain Thay's resources. When Sastam proposed using necromancy to power the Dread Ring, Dimitra opposed him, not out of compassion, but because she feared it would drain Thay's life force and leave nothing to burn. Lalara Mediocros, the Zulkir of divination, is perhaps the most enigmatic. She is blind but sees more than any other. Her divinations allow her to predict the movements of armies, the outcome of experiments, and the intentions of rivals. She sits in a chamber lined with mirrors and scrying pools. Her apprentices monitor dozens of crystal balls. Lalara rarely speaks in full sentences. She answers questions with riddles or single words. Her Thark, Priador, is the surveillance center of Thay. It is filled with watchtowers that are actually arcane sensors. Her agents intercept communications. They listen to whispers. They read omens in the stars and the blood of sacrificed animals. Lalara's counsel is invaluable to the other Zulkirs. They seek her advice, but they also fear her. She knows their secrets. She knows when they plan betrayal. She uses this knowledge to maintain her position. Nevron is the Zulkir of Conjuration, previously a pupil of the conjurer before him. He is tall, imposing, with dark skin and silver tattoos that glow when he summons. Nevron delights in the versatility of conjuration. He can bring forth elementals, demons, and objects. He can teleport entire armies or banish enemies to other planes. He runs the Black Spire and has ties to extra-planar entities. His Thark, Surthe, is home to summoning circles and binding pits. It is rumored that Nevron made pacts with archdevils and demon lords, playing both sides to increase his power. His rivals whisper that Nevron will one day be consumed by his own summoned horrors. Nevron counters by demonstrating flawless control. He emphasizes that conjuration is not about brute force, but about precision, calling the right thing at the right time. Asnarthrul, the Zulkir of transmutation, is a paradox. Outwardly, he is a warrior, clad in armor and wielding a sword. He has the muscular build of a seasoned fighter, yet he is a brilliant alchemist and transmuter. He believes that the body, like matter, can be reshaped. He trains his students to turn stone into mud, iron into silk, wood into steel. He experiments with polymorphing, both for battle and for espionage. His Thark, Gauros, is a workshop where bizarre creatures roam. Workers there produce materials that have no analogues elsewhere. They have created metals that float, plants that grow in the dark, and animals that breathe water and air. Asnar is a practical man. He cares less about politics and more about innovation. He was once allied with Shas Tam, but their relationship soured when a transmutation experiment freed a group of slaves. Asnar was furious that Shas Tam had those slaves executed. He felt his work had been defiled. Since then, he has been a reluctant supporter of Tam, siding with him only when absolutely necessary. The Zulkir of illusion, Mithrele, is a master of deception. She rarely appears in person, preferring to use phantasmal images. She can create entire landscapes from light and sound. She can make a single soldier appear as an army. Her favorite tactic is to sow distrust. She might send illusory messengers to two rivals, making each believe the other is plotting against them. Her Thach, Pyarados, is filled with labyrinths and hallways that change shape. Visitors often get lost, pursued by creatures that may or may not be real. Mithrela herself is rumored to have multiple identities. She might be a humble shopkeeper in El Taba, a barmaid in Nethentir, or a beggar in Bezantur. No one knows her true face. Even her fellow Zulkirs are unsure. She delights in this confusion. She has once said that illusion is the purest form of magic because it shows that reality is what the caster decides it is. Mithrela's loyalty is to Thay as she perceives it, a place where those with vision can reshape the world. She opposes Shas Tam when he attempts to fix reality in the form of undead stasis. Then there is the Zulkir of abjuration, Ithaz Buvar. He is a stoic man, with skin like granite and eyes like obsidian. Abjuration is the magic of protection. It wards, shields, and counters. Ithaz sees himself as the guardian of Thay. He constructs magical barriers around cities. He designs spells that deflect scrying. He is obsessed with the concept of an impregnable fortress. His Thach, Del Humide, is considered the safest place in Thay. Its walls are layered with dozens of wards. Its streets are patrolled by golems infused with abjuration spells. Ithaz distrusts both Shas Tam and Lauzuril. He believes that Thay must fortify itself against internal and external threats. He has clashed with Demetra Flas, arguing that the Zulkirate spends too much on offensive magic and not enough on defense. Ithaz is the reason that Thay's enemies rarely breach its borders. He has repelled invasions by Rashaman and Aglarond with walls of force and barriers of shimmering energy. While Thay's internal workings and far-reaching ambitions are often the focus of tales, there is another, more subtle theater of Thayan influence, the Enclaves. Life inside a Thayan enclave is a microcosm of Thay itself. It is a place where magic and commerce intermingle, where red wizards walk streets that are both foreign and familiar, and where local populations are both clients and targets. A typical enclave is built like a fortress. Its walls are thick, reinforced with magic. Its gates are guarded by elite soldiers and constructs. Inside, the architecture is a blend of Thayan and local styles. Crimson banners hang alongside local flags. The air smells of incense mixed with foreign spices. Merchants in brightly colored robes hawk potions, scrolls, and charms. Shop windows display animated objects, flying brooms, walking shields, talking stones that draw curious onlookers. In the center of the enclave stands a tower. This tower houses the enclave's leader, the resident, who is usually a red wizard of significant skill. The resident is responsible for managing trade, maintaining security, and sending reports back to Thay. Daily life in an enclave is busy. Local customers arrive early. hoping to secure rare potions or get on the waiting list for enchantments. They are greeted by multilingual clerks who evaluate their needs and budgets. Simple potions like healing or light are sold openly. More potent items require a background check. The Red Wizards keep careful records of who buys what. They want to know which local nobles are investing in invisibility potions or which mercenary bands are purchasing fireball scrolls. These records are shared with the Council of Zulkirs, providing valuable intelligence. Behind the shopfronts are workshops. Here, enslaved artisans from Thay craft magical goods under the supervision of lesser wizards. They work long hours, mixing powders, inscribing runes, and sewing charms into clothing. These slaves rarely see the outside world. They live in barracks beneath the Enclave. Some die from exposure to magical fumes. Others develop mutations from constant exposure to enchantments. The Red Wizards consider them necessary collateral. They justify their deaths by claiming that the profits fund Thay's protection. In more enlightened enclaves, the craftsmen might be free citizens from the local population who are paid for their work, albeit poorly. Security is a priority. Guardians patrol the enclave's perimeter. Wards detect unauthorized magic. Illusion spells conceal escape routes. If trouble arises, a Red Wizard can teleport reinforcements from Thay. Enclaves have been attacked by vigilantes, rival mages, and crusading paladins. The Red Wizards respond with lethal force. They are known to cast spells that incapacitate attackers without killing them outright. Those who survive are interrogated. Those who do not serve as warnings to others. Enclaves are also social hubs. They host banquets, festivals, and exhibitions. During these events, Red Wizards invite local dignitaries. They display their magical innovations, hoping to impress and entice. They serve exotic dishes infused with magical ingredients. They stage demonstrations, such as animating statues or creating illusory landscapes. These gatherings are opportunities to forge alliances. A noble might be persuaded to invest in Thayan enterprises. A guildmaster might sign a contract granting the Enclave exclusive rights to sell magic in their district. A cleric might be convinced to urge their flock to accept Thayan potions. Behind the scenes, enclaves conduct espionage. The resident has spies in taverns, temples, and courts. They listen for news of adventuring parties, political plots, and economic shifts. They monitor shipments. They bribe dock workers to report on cargo. They pay informants to reveal which merchants have acquired magical items. Information flows both ways. The resident sends reports to Thay, but they also receive instructions. They might be told to sabotage a competitor, to incite a dispute between local leaders, or to gather specific herbs. Sometimes they are instructed to kidnap a particular wizard or steal a relic. For the Red Wizards, life in an enclave can be both liberating and confining. They enjoy more autonomy than in Thay. They are far from the constant scrutiny of the Zulkirs. They can pursue personal projects, experiment with local resources, and accumulate wealth. They can adopt local fashions, learn new languages, and even form friendships. But they are also under pressure. They must meet quotas. They must prove their worth. They must avoid offending the local authorities. They must keep up appearances. A mistake could lead to recall, demotion, or death. From the perspective of local populations, enclaves are double-edged swords. They bring prosperity. They create jobs. They provide access to magic that can heal and protect. They also bring corruption. They drive local wizards out of business. They collect secrets. They influence politics. Citizens might come to rely on Thayan potions, only to find that the price suddenly doubles. A lord might accept a Thayan gift, only to discover that it carries a geas. A city might expel an enclave, only to face a plague unleashed by the vengeful Red Wizards. The Red Wizards of Thay are not a monolith. They are a tapestry woven from threads of ambition, terror, brilliance, and desperation. Their society is a maze of power structures where slaves toil, commoners scrape by, and wizards scheme. Their magic is both wondrous and horrifying. Their enclaves spread their influence like veins across Faerûn. Their enemies and allies are many. Their future is uncertain. What makes Thay compelling is not just its evil. It is the complexities within. The Red Wizards are villains who justify their actions with reason. They are scholars who cross ethical lines. They are patriots who oppress their own. They are visionaries who cannot see beyond their own desires. There is a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and the dehumanization that results. It is also a story of resilience. Slaves resist, commoners endure. Lesser wizards dream of a better future. Heroes risk their lives to fight Thay's darkness. As adventurers and storytellers explore the Forgotten Realms, the Red Wizards of Thay will continue to be formidable foes and complex characters. They challenge heroes to consider their own relationship to power. They invite players to think about what they would do if given the ability to reshape reality. They remind us that the line between genius and monstrosity is thin. They show that evil is often dressed in the robes of wisdom and that good must be vigilant. In the end, the story of Thay is a mirror held up to all who seek power. What will you do with it, and at what cost?